Hi, it's Dulcie Crawford with the Dulcie Crawford Group, and today we're going to discuss due diligence. Why do we have due diligence, and what exactly is due diligence? Due diligence is a time frame that is negotiated between both the buyer and the seller in a purchase contract for real estate. So many of my clients, when we discuss the contracts, we have to understand why we have due diligence. And due diligence is that time frame that is going to protect the buyer mostly for when they purchase the property. We need to negotiate a certain amount of time to get the inspections and or discovery items out of the way in the beginning. This time period allows the buyer free reign of investigating just about anything on the property that they're willing to do that is non-invasive. And they can also decide whether or not they feel that inspections that discover things that are wrong with the property, they can renegotiate the terms of the contract during that time frame. So it's very important for a buyer to have as much time as possible that's comfortable to get those inspections completed. So a few examples that a buyer may be investigating and doing inspections for during the due diligence period could be that they're just interested to find out what the flight patterns are for planes nearby, the schools, parks, road noise, and then of course, most importantly, the inspections. Inspections can be non-invasive typically. The seller's not going to want you to cut into their walls, etc. But a good professional inspection company can do a non-invasive inspection that can pretty much cover the entire property from the roof all the way to the mechanical systems of that property. So in the due diligence period, from the buyer's perspective, as I mentioned before, it's very important for the buyer to have enough time to complete all those inspections and investigations. And as your buyer's agent, I'm going to negotiate a sufficient amount of time to do that. And if we need more time, we can always renegotiate during the due diligence period should we find something that needs further investigation. From the seller's standpoint, it's important not to have a due diligence period that is too long, taking the property off the market. During that time period, the buyer pretty much can cancel for any reason. So it's pretty much putting the seller in a bad position to have them off the market for too long of a due diligence period. In the Las Vegas area, it's very common that our closings are between 30 and 45 days. And so due diligence periods tend to be anywhere between 10 and 15 days. Sometimes they extend out to 20 days, but as your listing agent, I'm really going to push back for a 10-day due diligence period whenever I can. If you have any more questions about this important area of the contract to negotiate, feel free to call me. I'm happy to discuss any of the areas of real estate that you may be interested in. I'm always available.